Hello. So, I'm just here today going to talk a little bit about autism and disability because, well, it's Disability Pride Month. And, well, you might be thinking, so why are you doing this at St. Ruffin's Well? You know, dedicated to the martyred son of the King of Mercia. Well, it's kind of an image people have of people with disabilities. You know, this sort of suffering. But it's all about suffering and people, and you know, while there is those who say, you know, like, oh, that's strange, you didn't look disabled, Ed. And I can understand that, you know. I walk, I lift, I do a lot of stuff. My senses work in what, you know, they allow me to see and hear, smell and taste, and sense the great beauty of the world that exists. And, well, so some people think of it as sort of like, so yeah, you know, people see me and they probably wouldn't see someone with a disability. See? Well, I don't know the correct English word, but a jiggeet. Sounds about right. That's what a lot of people might see when they see me. They don't realise what's in here is a bit different. Still. There's this idea about people with disabilities, but it's all suffering and, you know, it's some people even tell me, it's really brave of you to come out, to be, like, out and about in public life. Isn't that amazing? Personally, I'm a little bit unsure about that because, after all, I'm not going to get martyred just for being in public life, at least not around here. There are other places in the world where that might happen, and it does happen to other people, but not here, not to me. Anyway, here in my beautiful little town, my homeland. But so there's this idea about disabilities, but there's a sort of set image. But, well, it's not all like that. And there's definitely more to disability than suffering. And I'd also like to clarify, you know, they say not all disabilities are visible. And that is true, even if some people could say, well, I could tell that there was something wrong with you, Ed. I've heard that before. And, well, here I am. I'm a bit different. My head, things work differently in there. And here is a sensory garden. Not just for people with disabilities, mental health more in general. A place where you can smell the flowers. Don't know if there's any lotus here for the expression to work, you know, to stop and smell the lotus, but, and you can just look, hear birds in trees, and enjoy. But also, sometimes it can actually work because, you know, and that's why I brought this helmet. Back when I was working at a voluntary centre, I was wanting to show one of my friends there my Brody helmet and this helmet was actually quite good. So, you know, so the day I wore it, just walking around wearing it, and one time we had to load a bed into a disposal lorry for it to be recycled. We picked it up, then suddenly, crack! And the wood and metal poles, boink! Down onto my head. Fortunately, I was wearing this very helmet. Because it just to me seemed like, Well, why wouldn't I want to wear my helmet? It is good helmet, and, as it turned out, it is also good if a bed falls on your head. Or at least part of a bed. Bed beams fall on your head. It is good thing. Not to mention, as we've seen in previous videos, my ducks! The way I, see the world. But, I mean, not everyone can do this kind of stuff that I do. And hey, I know I'm a bit different and, you know, but I try to make things happier. Lots and lots of rubber ducks. As we see with the ducking historians. But, well, apart from that, I thank you for understanding, because that is, in a sense for me, disability, not just about being sad and suffering, you know, not just about what you miss out on. I think that is a point a lot of people miss. We can do stuff too. I mean, it's what I personally use categories like material and social. So if society was different, perhaps, being autistic would be less of a barrier. Or more of a barrier. I know there were people like me who used to get put in little balls and spin round and round and round because they thought that was a good idea to get rid of the autism. You know, hang someone upside down. That is medical history from a long time ago. Well, not that long ago. It was in the 20th century, after all. But, yes, and there were times where all sorts of things were considered mental illnesses, but we now know are just different ways of being human. So, thank you very much for watching and wanting to enjoy the very different ways of being human. And however you human, your humanness, it was lovely having you here.